In this video, we will introduce the client-server model within the Java programming language. Most modern network programming is based on a client-server model. A client-server application typically stores large quantities of data on an expensive, high-powered server, while most of the programming logic and the user interface is handled by client software running on relatively cheap personal computers. In most cases, a server primarily sends data while a client primarily receives it, but it is rare for one program to send or receive exclusively. A more reliable distinction is that a client initiates a conversation while a server waits for clients to start conversations with it. Some servers process and analyze the data before sending the results to the client. Such servers are often referred to as application servers. To distinguish them from the more common file servers and database servers, a file or database server will retrieve information and send it to a client, but it won't process that information. In contrast, an application server might look at an order entry database and give the clients reports about monthly sales trends. An application server is not a server that serves files that happen to be applications. Let's walk through our diagram. First of all, looking at the server, we see that the server accepts connections from the client. Input and output streams are connected to sockets on the specified ports. So we connect to the socket, we bind to the socket, and then we listen to the socket. The server listens for connections requesting a service. It accepts the connection, does some server-side logic, and sends back a reply or writes a reply. So here it reads or gets the request, processes the request, and then writes back a reply. Let's now look at the client. The client initiates the connection to a known port on the server from whichever port is available on the client. The client sends the request or writes a request. The client reads the response from the server, and then the processing is complete. Now let's implement some code to see it work. This concludes our discussion of client-server model in Java.